In It Together with Lori Lynn Green talk show is a positive way to start your day. Ready for some encouragement?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's let the healing begin.
Come be inspired, hear moving stories, even laugh out loud.
Can't make heads or tail of what I'm saying.
Just incomprehensible.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
You'll hear real people doing real things to make a real impact.
You are heroes every day.
Hear honest, compassionate, engaging issues you care about.
You see people come together to do good in our community, and the more we come together, the more good we can do.
Listen in and get started on redesigning your life and hear what's positive in Greater Manchester. Here's your happy host, Lori Lynn Green.
Good morning, friends in Greater Manchester. Welcome to In It Together. We are so glad that you tuned in. If you'd like to find us on the web, you can go to inittogether.net. Listen live, watch our previous shows, even link to our Facebook, our Twitter, our LinkedIn, our YouTube, and so on. And if you like and follow us, you will see we're bringing out the best in people to influence positive change in this community and beyond. Today is a very special community day with a good friend, Jenn Hebert, and she'll be here talking about Roca Kidz Club and Decision America.
Yes.
Franklin Graham's coming to our city very soon, so we'll be back right after this brief message. Stay tuned.
Little Leapers and Knowledge Keepers Childcare and Preschool offers learning experiences that give kids a healthy sense of self and meaningful connections to the world around them. We teach children from a positive perspective so they learn healthy conflict resolution and develop character. Owner Jennifer Hebert has over 28 years' experience in child development. She's helped children learn to read as young as 18 months. Join our happy place where we make happy happen. Located in Pinardville, bordering Bedford and Manchester. Call today at 603-491-1780.
Hi, I'm Lori Lynn Green, Advancement Strategist and owner of AlphaAdvancementStrategies.com. I've been very successful at helping people overcome stressful situations to get immediate results in their personal and professional lives. At Alpha Advancement Strategies, we provide a non-judgmental and supportive environment, empowering clients to focus more on reaching their goals. You can find us on the web at AlphaAdvancementStrategies.com or call us at 603-860-9260. Alpha Advancement Strategies is where you invest in yourself.
Hi, I'm Mark Major, certified coach and speaker. Join me Wednesdays at 9 a.m. for It's a Wonderful Life, all about leadership development and living a positive lifestyle. Only on In It Together with Lori Lynn Green.
Welcome back to In It Together, kicking off our Come Together community segment with Jenn Hebert. I almost said Jenn Hebert earlier.
I heard that.
I went, Jenn Hebert.
Jenn Hebert. That's right. Jenn Hebert's good company. I don't mind.
Yes, she's great company. It's been such a long time.
Turning that over.
It's been it's been a while. Jenn used to be one of our regulars here.
Yes.
In a couple of different ways. And obviously, God's got her busy all the time, although her personality is, look, butterflies, whatever, sure, yes. She sucks the marrow out of life, and that's what I love about you. And what's great about it is everything you're doing is all for the kingdom, and it's always to encourage people, to help them in their journey, whatever it is, whether it's health, whether it's volunteerism, whether it's, whatever. You're very community and promotion-oriented. And so today we're going to talk about both of those things. Roca Kidz Club, we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Right.
And then later on, in the second segment, we're going to talk a little bit about Decision America, where Franklin Graham is coming to our city. And it's been a while since he's come here, but a lot of what we're seeing now is a result of when he did come years ago.
It can be more perfect timing. So that's
oh my goodness.
That he's coming May 23rd.
Full circle, right?
Yes.
Full circle. So why don't we start off with, for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about Roca Kidz Club, how you guys got involved in it, And then just kind of update on what's going on, because one of the posts that I saw, and you don't have to talk about this at the moment.
I can talk about anything.
Okay, one of the posts that I saw was about how the kids that you started with are really growing up.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd love to share. So first, I'm so happy to be here with you because you are my friend, and I love you, and I'm so thankful that you share good news and everything going on. So it's an honor to be here. But Roca Kidz Club started, can you believe it? We will be turning 8 years old June 9th.
Wow.
We started almost 8 years ago. AJ, my husband, and I have loved people, loved kids in our lives, have been completely changed by God. And so I do a lot with people from a lot of different places. And so I never shy away from why my life is what it is and why I'm not perfect, but why I know that I'm loved and have just incredible amounts of love to give away. And so when
it's like it runs in and through.
Yeah, in and through.
The more you give out, the more comes in. It's awesome.
Yes. And so 8 years ago, AJ and I had been chaperones on different mission trips. We went to
My
the Buffalo.
kids went on.
Yeah, with your kids. And we went to the Buffalo Dream Center.
Yes.
And we saw that and what Pastor Michelle and Eric Johns do with kids and families and in the neighborhoods and the difference they're making with their small little group of people. We realized that we had that need here, but it wasn't at that time. It was like in our darkest hour when like we had no finances, when we were just struggling in marriage and struggling with life and not necessarily hopeless, but just saying like, what is it? Like, what can we do with our life? And at that moment, it wasn't go out and hustle this or that. It was, hey, God spoke to us and said, I want to talk to you about something. And it was about the kids in Manchester.
Well,
and so we started it.
Let's just stop here for a second to slow down on what you're talking about. I think what you were talking about is it wasn't that you didn't want to do something. You just something awakened in you when you saw what was happening at the Buffalo Dream Center. It made you aware that, you know what, these are regular people helping. And I think our city's a great example of just regular people helping.
Right.
And you don't really have problems getting volunteers too often, do you?
We don't. Yeah, so it is true, as we saw these people that just lived with their eyes open and their hearts open. And a phrase that I took from them was see a need, meet a need.
Right. You know what? I say that sometimes.
Our
I didn't
kids,
know where I got it.
It came from your kids because they really, really spoke that into us.
Yeah,
when you see a need, meet a need.
Right.
If you want to feed the homeless, don't ask somebody for approval. Or don't go to your church or don't go to your business and say, hey, can we have a meeting about this? Well, how much money do we have?
You just said
Pastor Eric says, go to your pantry, grab your peanut butter, your jelly, and your sandwich, and hit the streets. And look, you've got this mobile food pantry, and you're giving stuff away. You do not have to ask permission.
I love
to do that.
You said this. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to apologize. You don't need approval.
No.
And then, I thank God we are breaking out of that.
Yeah.
The church as a body, no longer separate buildings and separate denominations as far as working together. We don't even know where anybody goes and don't care anymore. And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
But before it was kind of like, oh, can I, should I? Am I, crossing a line? Am I not supposed to do things with them?
Right.
And people were so confused, and there was so much fear of just seeing a need, meeting a need. It was like, is it okay? Yes, it's okay.
It is okay. It's not that you don't want to go rogue or if you have authority, like to go beyond what those people
it's not rebellion.
say, not rebellion at all. And so we knew that we were supposed to start something. And so that's why we decided kind of not to start it at one church or whatever. We had two parts where we wanted to see kids know the genuine love of God, and we wanted people to be inspired in their gifts and abilities to go out and change the world around them and make an impact. And so we said, we're going to do this for one summer. We called our friends who we knew had the same heart, and we started it, and now we're here 8 years later. We did not do sign-ups. Like I have to go serve this week, or it's my week to go to Roca with volunteers. It's come, and we have some that have been coming for 8 years, 7 years, 6 years. I mean, not 8 yet, but almost 8 years, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
the volunteers?
1 year. The volunteers. They come from all over the place.
Well, and here's the thing. When you have a vision for something God's given you, he always brings those around you who can get behind that vision, who can help, who also have the same desire of their heart. to be a help. And
Right.
there really wasn't a lot when you started. You were one of the first to do something like that. And actually, you know, people are always watching us, right? So whether you know it or not, you know, your life has been an inspiration to a lot of people just watching you and sometimes me fumble through some of those things, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
It's real, it's honest.
Yeah, it's messy.
It
And
can be.
we made a lot of mistakes, and like even saying we'll never do this, we'll never do that, but we can't say what we're going to do or what we're not
Right.
going to do. And so we decided to look and say that the mission of what we're doing will always stay the same, and
It
methods may change, but we are always on the mission of reaching kids and loving people.
Yeah, and that's the focus, and all the other stuff is just kind of peripheral, and
Right.
you just kind of go with the flow because you really can't control, you know, the circumstances and a lot of things that are going on. You can really just control what you know that God has asked you to do, and then you work out the rest, and know He helps you work out the rest.
Yeah, it's amazing. And AJ and I started it, but it really is community and really is family. I want to cry. Like when I think about the volunteers and the people that will go pick up children that's not on a Thursday. We'll take them to the movies. We'll take them to church. We'll take them to dinner. We'll go to their dance recitals. We'll go to their middle school graduations. Like we don't tell anybody what to do, and that's because they have formed relationships. Or when we get when we get people like Keller Williams that wants to hand us a check or come and volunteer. You know, this is an outside group. When you think, well, I don't know if I want to help because you believe in God or you have this faith. Well, then this community says, hey, we see what you're doing with kids, and we don't really know what it is, but we want to be a part of it. And then these kids in turn see outside of their one city block that there's more to life.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I remember in the past you talking about a lot of these kids, maybe the only thing they see is school and then an alleyway, and they may not know what the beach looks like or what a park looks like or any of that. And you know, you've told stories about how you're volunteers and you've taken these guys out on field trips and things like that. You just finished, wasn't it a camp? You brought some of the older kids?
Yeah, we took Berea reached out
Camp
to
Berea.
us, and they said, hey, we want to partner with you. They've done that over the last few years, and they have something called Deep Freeze in the winter for middle school and high school for youth. And so they said, hey, let's partner together, not just in the summer. And so they paid a portion, and because of donations, we were able to send kids, and we have to chase parents down. They don't want to sign forms, and they'll say, just take my kid. But we had some kids go, and their lives were changed. And it's like, we've been doing this for years, but then they go, oh, you believe too. Like there's power when they see that there's more than it's just the one person riding back from there. We were driving, and in AJ's vehicle, he had a bunch of 14-year-old boys, and some deer crossed in front, and they go, AJ told me that they said, oh my gosh, now I can say I've seen deer. And here in New Hampshire, it's like their world has not been exposed to that.
Well,
or
in
look
the
at
inner
the lake.
city, they don't see all
yeah,
that.
look at the lake. Look at the trees.
Yeah, and some of them don't even have a car or something
Never
like
went
that.
sledding, never went paintballing, never knew that they could even get a driver's license.
So when we talk about lives changed, and this is the part that I get excited about, is this: they're not just like, oh, we're feeding and playing with kids every week. There's so much more to it than that, but also showing the kids that there's more beyond the life that they know.
Right.
And that's really important, because we see this a lot in big inner cities where, you know, there's a lot of poor and a lot of struggling and stuff, and that just from generation to generation, they don't break that cycle because they don't see anything else. And I think that's huge when they see that people care and that they come from all walks of life, and then they get to share with these kids what those, you know, what they do for a living, what things are like, probably, right?
Yeah, many of them come from hard places. And as a foster parent too, I've been in the homes of different kids and also heard more stories. But I'll give you an example. Is when we came back to return, most parents would be excited to pick up their kids, want to hear how was it.
Yeah.
One of our volunteers, Eddie, drove up and picked up some kids. A dad who was very high came and picked up his daughter, and a woman walked with a stroller so her daughter can put her bags in the car so they could walk. and the rest of the kids, they like 11 more kids had to either walk home or figure out how to get rides.
Right.
And so we had a girl that kept calling her mom, and she goes, oh, my mom could have left out of state. I don't know. She's never around. She doesn't answer her phone ever. And she maybe called 6 times. And I said, can I give you a ride home? And she said, yeah. And so when I gave her a ride home, in like a 7-minute drive, I got to hear a lot about her story. And I've known her for at least 4 years. And she lives in a home with 16 people in a triple-decker apartment. I walked in there, and it was filthy, and there were kids that were dirty. And the mom was sleeping, and a parent was kind of, not really caring to see me. And she lives with 2 fathers in the home and has witnessed violence and anger and abuse and drugs. And so she said, I hate that I get angry. I hate that I've got suspended. I want to know more. But it's hard for her. It's hard to get out of that life and the space that she's been to. And so I wonder, like, how effective are we really on a Thursday night? Like, it breaks my heart because...
Well, I believe you put a dream before them they wouldn't have.
Right.
Like you do give them, because the reality is we all have to make a decision for ourselves what we're going to do in our life. You give them a picture of something different,
Right.
something to aim for.
Yeah.
And not only that they don't have to do it alone, but you give the faith aspect too, that lets them know that it's God that helps us do it.
That we're never alone. When we're
That's
in those
right.
spaces, we're never, ever alone.
Right. And that's the really important
Yeah.
part there. And, this is more than a lot of times we see a lot of physical needs being met, and but maybe even emotional. But the spiritual aspect is the thing that sustains us. And I've seen videos where you have different people come in and share their testimonies, their stories, and they're helping the kids to know how God how he looks in different ways. Like he can meet people right where they are, and he cares about you too. Not just, it's not just the people who have a job or the people that are a certain way. He cares about everybody. And
Everybody. We had a 19-year-old from that camp. So we, we're reaching them each week, but then we take them for a weekend, and then sometimes it just clicks.
Yeah.
She's 19. And, teenagers or youth group, you wouldn't think a 19-year-old would go, but this was perfect for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she ran over to 2 of our leaders and bawled her eyes out and said, I don't want to leave. She, tears, because I looked across from the table like, what's going on over there?
She got a glimpse of heaven. That's
sobbing.
Why. Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to leave. She said, when I came here on Friday, I didn't know who I was, and now I know who I am. And I mean, weeping because she had purpose and she had value. And how many of us struggle with knowing what we're going to do with life, or what is the meaning of our life, or life changes and have purpose and value. And I see some friends of mine struggling with that. I'm 44 years old and they're lost. They don't have purpose or value. Not that their life isn't okay and they're fine, but there was something that clicked with her, that she was like, I was born for a reason.
Seeing through a different lens,
Right.
seeing things the way that God sees them is vital. And even some of us who know better can kind of slip into that when we're really not being grateful for what we have, how
Right.
blessed we really are. And, when you share that with these kids, I mean, it's kind of like somebody just opened something up they never saw before. It's like bringing light into a dark place. Once that's there, it's like you can't forget it.
No, your life should never be the same when you've experienced the real thing.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And more joy, more peace, more purpose. And it creates excitement in believing that something is possible beyond where you are. And I get excited that that's what you're doing with these kids. Another minute on Roca. What would you like people to know about Roca and how they can get involved?
That's a good question. It's interesting because people struggle because there should be an answer like, please send us money, but that's not really where we come from. Money does allow us to do more things with the kids, but if we didn't have money, we would still be there for them.
Sure.
And so I would love for people's prayers, for strategy, and for direction with how to see these kids grow up and never look back. Because we have seen teenagers over the years walk away and fall into the junk of the world with drugs and gang and living on the streets. I think that we really do need prayer, and we need volunteers if you're in the area to come, because it can never be more than a volunteer and a kid. So we've never had more volunteers than kids, and that's something that I'm looking forward to that day.
Right.
And we would do that.
You have 2 locations currently, right? 222 Cedar Street and then Wilson Street?
At Hope Tabernacle, we use 222 Cedar Street, and then Believers Christian Outreach, 140 Wilson Street. And this is like hot off the press. I can't believe it, but we are going to start something for the teenagers on Friday nights at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:30, and we're going to be starting that on April 5th. Can't even tell you what it's going to look like. Friday nights.
Oh,
we're just going to be obedient, looking for a location, because the buildings that we use are being occupied. We just know that there's a strong need. We have 30 teenagers coming every week that are like getting into trouble because it's not really the best environment for them. They kind of need their own space.
Because there's little kids there.
Right.
So let's do this. Tell us about what your current things are. Thursday nights,
Yep. So
222 Cedar Street, Wilson Street.
Yeah, 140 Wilson Street.
140 Wilson Street.
Every Thursday from 6 to 7:30.
Okay. 6 to 7:30. All right, and we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and we'll be back, talk a little bit more about Decision New Hampshire. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
CrossNet Inc. offers computer and IT services for commercial clients as well as local personal users. We create tailor-made plans for your business's unique needs, from computer repairs to managing networks, servers, and desktops. CrossNet Inc. offers managed services, data backups, virus protection, web filtering, and more. For more information, go to crossnetinc.com or call for your personalized IT services today at 603-589-2520. CrossNet Inc. IT services that keep your business running when you're on the run. Mark Major knows that great coaches need constant training to be effective. As a certified coach, teacher, and speaker with the John Maxwell team, Mark can help you identify and activate your personal and professional goals. If you seek to do more and be more, look up Mark on the web at johnmaxwellgroup.com/MARC Major or call 603-674-6818. Mark Major, growing leaders and adding value.
Hi, I'm Jenn Hebert, anchor of the Recovery Now segments. Join me Tuesdays at 9 a.m. where I offer support to families struggling with addiction. Hear personal stories, learn the signs of addiction, and get help for your loved ones. Only on In It Together with Lori Lynn Green.
Welcome back to In It Together in our community segment with Jenn Hebert here, talking about Roca Kidz Club. We had mentioned that we wanted to talk about Decision America. We're going to actually probably just give you some brief information on that, and then we'll continue our conversation, because we're going to come back and actually do a show on this probably later in April. So why don't you want me to just read?
Yeah,
this?
I can hit something real quick.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful. I was asked to be a tour rep for the state of New Hampshire for the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, BGEA. And Franklin Graham is coming to New Hampshire on May 23rd. And that goal is to really be able to share with ways of sharing the gospel, to share Christ. You know, I always want to share about God's love and how he changed my heart. And so on May 23rd at 7:30, there's going to be music at 7 at Gill Stadium. It's a free event. They're going to come and hear from Franklin Graham. Crowder's going to be there. There's another the band the group Crowder's going to sing. We're going to bus all the Roca kids in.
John Crowder?
Yeah, they're going to bus all the kids in. And we're going to bus Roca kids in. There's 3,000 seats. We want them filled. And there's some different volunteer opportunities. So I just want to hit real quick. They can go to a Facebook page, Decision America NH, and they can reach me that way. They can go to decisionnortheast.com. And the 3 ways to volunteer is you can be part of our promotional team and like spread the word. You can be an on-site crew on the day of the event, or you can apply to be a volunteer counselor. So when people decide that they want to give their life to Christ, that's what I love, is that it's our choice. No force, no fear, nothing like that. It's our choice.
Yep.
And when we decide to make that decision, then there'll be people there to walk through with them. So there's 2 dates. I know I'm giving you a lot of info, but I'm glad that you post this so people can like rewind.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, March 26th at Tower Hill Church. It's formerly First Assembly from 6 to 9 p.m. That's in 45 Miles Drive in Auburn. And then March 28th, 6 to 9 p.m., Shiloh Community Church, and that's on Edmund Street in Manchester. Those are days that you can come and be trained up. But I would say go to decisionnortheast.com or the Facebook page for more info, or look for me. I would love to share why I'm involved. Different people have different opinions about how they should share the gospel. You should do it this way. Well, I don't want to stand up and shout before people, but I think this is such an important event.
Yep.
And a gathering of people, and as well as those that are searching. We need to come together as community and stand before and give opportunity for people to have a decision.
Yeah, well, that's important, and it's interesting because several times, we talk about the practicality of sharing the gospel. Now, I'm not going to get into all.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, but several times on the show over the last few years, AJ has come to my mind. Your husband, AJ, several times as I'm talking to people about what it looks like. And a lot of people, not that we're against prayer, prayer meetings, and we're not against ministry and church and all those things, but so there was a time where we all just believed that the only way to serve was in the church, was only in the church. And your husband said one day, well, isn't my swinging my hammer a worship to God just as much? And I've used that I can't even tell you how many times, because it always comes to mind, and it just really has a practical, powerful message in that. Is that Jesus was a carpenter, right? So he, your husband, he's an amazing cabinet maker. What would you give him as a title?
He does. He would call himself a business owner, but
yeah, but he's a craftsman with wood.
He's a craftsman. He does built-ins, and he creates things, and he provides solutions for people, making their spaces beautiful in their homes or commercial spaces.
Oh my goodness, and he is built in New Hampshire, I think, is the name of his company.
You for that.
But the reality is you got a humble guy who's out there in the community, loving people and helping people practically.
Right.
And I think his ministry is just as powerful as someone standing in the pulpit. And I think maybe we can start realizing whatever we have in our hand, whatever God has given us, is what we can use.
Yeah, it's our unique life and our unique purpose of what is. I love teaching group fitness classes, and I'm not, Bible thumping or pushing my agenda. I'm just sharing love through whatever it is I'm doing. If I'm moving my hips in a Zumba class and I'm shouting and screaming and having fun, I want people to
4 more, 3 more.
I don't believe I'm the best around. I say I'm the best around, but I think it's because I see the people and I love them and I want to pull their potential. Yeah. And that's something that's a God-given gift because of what he's
Your
done.
Your enthusiasm
in my life.
is so contagious. People just want to be around you.
But that's because God has set me free. Like
that's it.
That's truly is, even in my worst ways, he's come and changed my life. And so with the BGEA and with Franklin Graham coming for this Decision America tour, my role is to partner with churches to share what's happening and to look for volunteers, but also to not only partner with churches, but to look into my community and foster care and Roca and provide an opportunity for people to come to something. But it doesn't mean we're only talking about May. We're talking every single day of what we're doing in our life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Anytime we do anything here, it's to begin something, not just a one-time thing, and then everybody goes home and forgets about it. As a matter of fact, that's what we don't want to happen. We want to foster change that is lasting and duplicatable.
Right. Duplicatable is right. It's something
Really?
we were talking about with foster care is after fostering 24 kids and my husband and I taking a break. We actually had the last girl move out of our house. We've had 5. We've had 4 missionaries that have come off the field live with us since December. We've had 4 missionaries.
I think I met one.
We've had 2 additional missionaries that have popped through, and we've had 2 foster kids over Christmas. My daughter came home, and AJ and I were in Jordan. And I said, sorry, Kay, you're coming home from college. there's 3 women in the house, and there's twin foster kids there. So when you come home, there'll be 5 people you don't know, but we'll see you in a few days.
But it's normal for your kids, so they like, it's kind of like my house, a little bit different, but we used to have, oh, who are you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's okay. But we're, it kills me. The girl, she left this morning. Her name's Casey. She left. I said goodbye right before I came here. And so it's just going to be me and AJ in our home. And we decided to take a little bit of break and regroup. And then
sometimes
we have to duplicate ourselves. Like, I can't keep saying yes to 1 or 2 kids and then I'm 100% in their giving their attention. I need to create an opportunity for more families to become foster parents.
So I'm glad that you're coming on and we're talking about all these areas that you have such a passion for, God has put in your heart. Because when I reached out to you again, I was letting you know, you used to come on regularly every week and different, but I looked at it different. I've been since talking to people who used to be on, who are still powerfully ministering in the city, with their lives and everywhere else. And so I was like, you know what? There's so much going on with you in the foster care, but you're like a pioneer in all these areas, though. You bring you're like, you have this gift of promotion to be able to bring out to other people and show them it's no big deal when they're, I couldn't do that. It's like the first thing most people say when it comes to something like that. Lydia O'Leary's the same way. People are like, I can't do what she's doing, and you just bring a practicality to it. And people don't know this about you, but you've been very instrumental in helping the foster care community develop in the greater Manchester area by offering classes and connecting them with the people who do it, going through the process yourself, being able to testify of how to get through that and help people with that. So I hope you're going to be coming back probably more on a rotation, not every week, but that we'll be able to cover some of these. I guess today is just kind of a mixed bag of the things that we'll be talking about as you come back.
It feels good because I feel like I'm sitting with my friend and just catching up. Like, here's all the things. Let me tell you what's been going on.
Yeah, and that's good. Really what I wanted to do today, because I want people to know Jenn Hebert, the person. The good, the bad, the ugly. We all have all of that. But the truth is, you have to rely completely on God for everything, because your whole life is directed at, what are you doing in the kingdom? What are you doing for to help people to know God and to live a life and to give back, just like you're doing. I mean, you're just living that example. And I think, I guess the picture of what people might think that's supposed to look like becomes more relatable.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because of the way that you do it. And again, I'm not saying because it's perfect. Yeah. I'm saying because she's willing, because the heart is right. The heart can be right and we can make mistakes sometimes. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. God can cover all that stuff. And I think there's so speak to this. So often when it comes to volunteering or getting involved in something new like that seems out of our league, people have, we've already covered the fear of, should I do this? Do I need permission? But how about the other aspect where it's kind of like, am I good enough to do this? Am I capable enough to do this? And the truth is no, none of us are. That's why we need God, right? Yeah. So, kind of speak to that a little bit about, how messy it can be, and it's okay.
Yeah, I may not. I'm thinking of something as an example of sharing my life. Is that I think my life was spared. My mom saved my life. She did not have an abortion with me, right? And so I'm passionate about pushing through. I went through hard things in marriage and overcame. And so I'm passionate about people that are married and fighting for their marriage. I'm passionate about kids because I was a hurt little kid, and I got to watch in my family the difference a father makes in the lives of kids, and truly what opportunity kids have when they have that. And if they don't have it, it doesn't mean they'll never get that. It means that we need to come around kids. And so what I've struggled with is my own ability to be effective. I can go out there. I actually told Casey this morning when she was leaving, I said, Casey, when I clean the house, I'm going to send a video because you've lived here for 2 months and I keep saying I need to clean it and it's never been clean. Like there's things in balance. And so for the last few months, I've really said, okay, God, what is it with me that's out of balance or that I don't feel qualified or good enough? Because I know I have a job to do. And so really it's been my focus to pursue this God that I hear about or that I share about a little bit deeper, a little bit more. He says, call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and hidden things that you do not know. And so when I was calling to him to find out, like, what is it? He just showed me more of who he was and how he saw me. And so
he's not looking at what's going wrong.
Not looking at what's going wrong, because I still have to live. We still have bills to pay. I still have to balance our books, like our personal finances, and realizing that it's okay to make money for our own family. It's okay to have a business. It's okay to be successful in some areas. I don't have to push that aside because I'm called to serve. It means there can be balance. I can have it all.
The first thing comes to mind, you know, as a coach, as I think about this for all of us, it's habits, systems, and action. And so that's when usually I take people, and you know I'm always here for you, and anybody in the community that is involved in stuff, you know, doing a lot of things. I donate my time to people to help them to do what they're doing and be more efficient. Do what you really want to do is be more effective. And consistent. Yeah, well, absolutely. That's part of it.
Yeah, and so what I've come to realize is that I need to trust my community and the people around me that I call friends. And they fill the gaps for me and they teach me. So we had a girl named Rashida that moved in with us, and people are like, oh, you're so wonderful. You're giving to her. I'm like, no, Rashida cooks food, and she cooks meals. She makes meals, and she's so much about following a schedule. An agenda. So she taught me some little nuggets of things that made my life better.
That's what we need.
Yeah,
right?
And so I think we have to just get out there and do what we want to do, and know that if it's going to be a little messy, that's okay. We actually have something to clean up. We have something.
The thought that comes to mind is we don't want to be worrying about what we're not.
Say that again?
Don't worry about what we're not.
No.
I mean, we can't be everything.
No.
And when we recognize the areas that maybe are not our strengths, it's okay to let somebody else take the reins there. Or, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. And so often people beat themselves up because I can't do everything and do it all perfect. And I don't think we were meant to. The whole concept of in it together is we really weren't meant to.
No, we're not meant to. I know that I have a lane that I'm supposed to stay in.
That's right.
And I remember, I think when you have a relationship with God and when you invite him in, there is conversation there, right? It's your friend, it's your helper, it's your counselor. And one day I was like, why can't I get this, God? Like, I'm messing up over here. I'm trying to do this. I can't do this. And, it's like I had all these balls in the air. And I said, that's it. I'll stop everything. And he goes, I never told you to quit. He goes, I told you to stay in your lane.
Ooh, boom.
You can go as fast and as slow as you want to in your lane. Because I'm so like, boom, 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 boom. And I feel like, some people are like, you need to slow down. How's your rest? Are you doing that? And I'm going, wait, something's wrong. Why am I not feeling like I am
there's help in our lane. The grace is where he's asking us to go, not where he's not asking us to go.
And so that's it. I feel like stay in your lane and go as fast, as slow as you want.
All right. Well, we are unfortunately out of time, but we will have you back soon. And so final thoughts. Anything you want to close out with?
There's no final thoughts.
A joke, you want to do a dance or share
No, other than I hope that people are inspired to do what it is that is in their heart to do, not what I do, not what we're seeing on social media, and not even the negative stuff or the good stuff. Just there's passion and vision in your life, and just take one step. That's your one-step process. I never forget about that.
One-step program.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want to give contact information today? Or
you can reach me. I think the easiest email address is Jenn, JENN, at rocakidzclub.com. ROCAKIDZCLUB.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming again. I love you too. All right. Well, that concludes today's show. If you want to join me tomorrow, actually Monday, yours truly will be here to help you move forward in your life on the good life, and have yourself a blessed weekend. And remember, we are in it together.